So there's a feeling that you may be carrying which is blocking all the rizq that you actually look to achieve in your life, whether that's something mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, okay? The main aim of today's video is to show you exactly what that hidden feeling is and how to avoid it as much as possible, okay? So let's get straight into it. Now, 90% of the Muslims that we just spoke about there are walking, they're talking, they're working, and they live quietly with these feelings that are sitting in the background. But what they don't realize is this, okay? Is that some of those feelings that we just mentioned there are the exact reason why their wealth, their rizq, and their abundance actually feels blocked. Meaning that even if you're praying, okay, even if you avoid sins, even if you're doing everything by the book, if you're still carrying these hidden feelings which inside, they're going to act like a barrier and they're going to block exactly what Allah is trying to send you, okay? But the beautiful thing is this, is that once you release these feelings, okay, this is when the wealth, the rizq, and the abundance actually begins to flow. And when it comes fast, okay, exactly like the Ferrari that you can see right there on the visual. Now let's talk about the quiet voice inside. Now I'm going to ask you a question here, okay? Have you ever had thoughts like, well, maybe I'm not meant to have more. Allah gives to others, but not me. I already missed my chance, okay? That's the little voice inside of you. That's the quiet one. That's what we're talking about here, okay? Because it doesn't scream, it doesn't shout, it just whispers and it sits in the background, right there in the back of your mind, okay? Just constantly whispering, telling you that you're not good enough, telling that you can't go and achieve your goals, saying it's not the right time, okay? But the crazy part is it's so little, yet so powerful. And it's powerful enough to block all of your blessings without you even noticing, okay? And it's so innocent that you don't even question it. And this is what most people don't realize because, as we said there, you can be doing everything right. You can be praying. You can be making dua. You can be avoiding sin. But if you still hold on to this hidden feeling, okay, this one hidden feeling, then you're going to be blocking all of the very rizq that Allah has written for you, okay? And just to be clear, this feeling it isn't envy, it isn't jealousy, or it isn't anger, okay? It's the belief. It's the belief that I am not good enough for this to happen to me, okay? Now, let's go into this in a little bit further detail because, yes, this is a little bit of a voice in the background, but where does this actually come from, okay? Let's break down the heart. Let's break down how the heart actually shapes everything, okay? Because that belief that sits deep inside, it actually lowers your energy, okay? And it closes your heart. And when your heart is then closed, your blessings are then delayed. And until you notice it, you'll think it's just the qadr, okay? Allah's qadr, which is holding you back. But in reality, it's not qadr, okay? It's actually you. Yes, you who is watching right now. I'm calling you out, okay? And the Prophet, may peace be upon him, explained this perfectly. And he said, there's a piece of flesh in the body. And if it is sound, the whole body is sound. But if it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. And indeed, this is the heart. Subhanallah, man, honestly. Meaning that if the heart is off, okay, then the whole body is off. And if the whole body is off, your entire life feels off. This is how deep that it has just got, okay? From a small whisper that you have in your head to your heart being affected, to your whole life being affected, okay? This video is very important and please be taking notes and please be being aware of what we're actually saying here, okay? And this is why the key is so simple, right? Meaning that we should change our inside, meaning that to change our outside. Okay, and it goes back to this beautiful verse in Quran where it goes, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a person until they change what is inside themselves. And this is a pure example of this here, okay? Because those feelings, they don't just sit in the heart, right? They show up in the body, meaning that what we're saying there is on the inside, okay? And this is how they can build up the tension in the shoulders, okay? The tightness in the chest. And that tension is exactly what's blocking you from receiving what Allah has already promises you, right? And Allah promised us abundance, okay? Abundance is your birthright, but you cannot experience it if your chest is closed. And this goes against what everything Allah has taught us, okay? Because Allah teaches us to expand. And this is why the Quran doesn't just say, believe, right? It goes much deeper than this. It teaches us exactly to expand, okay? And as Allah beautifully says in Quran, He goes, indeed, with hardship comes ease. So short, but so sweet and so meaningful. But if you look at the verse just before this, Allah also goes, did we not expand for you your chest? And here, Allah is showing us that before the ease flows into your life, your chest must open first, okay? And now you may be thinking, well, how do we open our chest? What's the trick? Okay, what's the missing piece to the puzzle, Bailey? Now, there's another beautiful verse here in Quran which goes, "O my servant who has wronged themselves, okay? Do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. Now, this Quranic teaching isn't just for one type of person, okay? It's for all humans, it's for all sins, and there is no exceptions, okay? And when you really believe that Allah's mercy covers everything, this is when your body begins to relax, okay? This is when your chest begins to open. And this is when your energy actually shifts. And you finally realize that you're not living in a hostile, scarce world, okay? You're living in a friendly universe which is being run by the most merciful in the most perfect manner, okay? In ways we can't even comprehend. And when you walk with that awareness, okay, everything around you then begins to change. Remember that verse that we just spoke about there? Indeed, Allah does not change the condition of a person until they change what's inside. This is a prime example. When you walk with that awareness, when you have changed your inside, everything around you just begins to change. Okay, your whole perception, the way you see reality completely clicks. Now, just for example here, your posture can all of a sudden change because you release that tension of your shoulders, quite literally, meaning that you're standing straighter. You stop walking slouch. You stop feeling irrelevant. You may be thinking I'm going off on a little bit of tangent here, but this all makes sense. And the pieces fit perfectly with exactly what Allah is trying to tell us, okay? And you stop thinking that the world is against you. And as Allah also reminds us here very beautifully in Quran, He goes, we have certainly honored the children of Adam. And that honor includes you. Yes, you who is looking at me right now. Now, 5 steps to actually release the hidden feeling and to unlock the abundance, okay? Step number 1, very simple. We need to stop the voice. We need to cut it off. Boom, khalas, finish, stop the voice, okay? Sit somewhere calm and say, Ya Allah, show me the sentence that keeps me small, okay? And the thought may appear like, oh, I'm not good enough. I messed up too much. I missed my chance. That's just an example, okay, of what may be going through your mind. But that is the very lie that is living in your chest, that small little voice that we keep talking about, okay? You need to name it. You need to recognize it. And step 2, you need to flip the script with Allah's words. And for every lie that you tell yourself with, okay, answer it with an ayah, meaning that if you tell yourself that you're not valuable, go back to this verse here in Quran 17:70, where Allah goes, we have certainly honored the children of Adam. If you tell yourself, well, I messed up too much, go back again to verse 17:70, where Allah goes, we have certainly honored the children of Adam, okay? And say the relevant verse at least 3 times each, okay? And feel your shoulders drop as you replace your words with Allah's words. And there's a beautiful section within our community, okay? Our paid community written Rizq. And it's a like-minded brotherhood who are all looking to become the best versions of themselves. And we've got a step-by-step blueprint in there showing you exactly how to increase your risk, okay? And one of the parts that I love in particular about this community is the daily Quran section, okay, where we do mini tafsir on Quran and we break down the verse and we only do a few lines, so it's easy to read, it's digestible, but it is so powerful. And sometimes when we can be going through emotions, when we can go through day-to-day life, I just go into the daily Quran section, I pick a verse which is so relatable to my current situation, and when I read it and I read the bullet points, I understand the meaning and I sit and think about what Allah is trying to tell us, that right there is where the tension just drops. Okay, so things like this is incredibly powerful. Then we've got step 3, which is your breath and istighfar reset. Okay, now there's a concept here called box breathing. This is where you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4, and then you exhale for 6. Okay, and with every exhale, you need to release the lie that you have been telling yourself, okay? And say, Astaghfirullah, expand my chest. Ya Allah, expand my chest, okay? So you take the deep breath in, you expand your chest, and you release it. You say, Astaghfirullah, Ya Allah, expand my chest. And you'll feel your chest all of a sudden just start to get a little bit wider like that, okay? You'll be walking around like you've just done a huge chest bump in the gym. But the key here is connecting it with Allah's words, okay? Because Allah also says here in Quran, look at how beautiful this is, okay? Did we not expand for you your chest? And then he also said, do not despair of my mercy, right? Then we've got step 4, which is giving small sadaqah, meaning that we should be trying to give anything for the sake of Allah, okay? Whether it's something as little as £1, whether it's food for someone, whether you feed an animal, even if it's a smile in the street, okay? Smiling at someone and just saying something kind and generous is a form of sadaqah, okay? And sadaqah is a proof of gratitude. It's a proof that you trust Allah as the giver, and that is the exact gratitude that attracts the increase that you are looking for. The reason why I was stuttering my words there is because it goes back to this other beautiful verse in Quran, which goes, if you are grateful, I will surely increase you. Okay, this is extremely powerful. And sadaqah here is the proof of gratitude that you are looking for. Now, step 5, which is also sleeping in worthiness, okay? And before you sleep, place your hand on your heart and you go, Ya Razak, okay? Increase me in your favor. And remember Allah, okay, until you drift off. Thank Allah for what has gone good and ask Allah for forgiveness of what has gone bad, okay? And fall asleep in the state of knowing that what Allah has already written abundance for you, okay? Fall asleep in the state of knowing that Allah has already written abundance for you. This is incredibly powerful. And sleep as though you've already stepped into your new reality, okay? And when you do these steps, you're going to notice the shift, okay? The hidden voices all of a sudden lose its power. Your chest begins to open, okay? And your body begins to relax. And this is when the abundance then begins to flow, okay? Not from your effort alone, but from the alignment with Allah's mercy. Because rizq, okay, isn't something that we're meant to chase. It's something that you simply allow into your life, okay? And the moment that your heart then begins to open, again, what Allah has written for you will come rushing into your life, inshallah.